2,000 kilometers. Say that again. 2,000 kilometers. Not from a concept car, not from a prototype that will never see a showroom. From a production car that you can walk into a dealership and buy today. A family wagon, 5 seats, a massive boot, a 1.5-liter engine under the bonnet. Let's put that number on a map, because when you do, it stops being a statistic and starts being something genuinely extraordinary. If you're in Australia, 2,000 kilometers gets you from Sydney to Melbourne and back, with enough range left to drive to Canberra on the way home. 1 tank. The whole trip. If you're in Europe, 2,000 kilometers takes you from London, through France, through the Alps, all the way to Rome, non-stop. No fuel station, just drive. If you're in Canada, a drive from Toronto to Halifax covers roughly 1,700 kilometers. This car does that on 1 tank and still has 300 kilometers sitting in reserve when you arrive. Now let's compare that to what the rest of the world currently offers. Toyota has been building hybrid cars since 1997. 28 years of development, refinement, and investment. Their best family hybrid, the Camry hybrid, covers around 900 kilometers on a full tank under real-world conditions. The RAV4 hybrid, one of the best-selling vehicles on the planet, does similar numbers, 900 kilometers against 2,000. BMW's 5 Series Touring, arguably the finest long-distance family wagon ever made. A car that has defined the premium estate segment for decades. Needs a fuel stop well before you reach the halfway point of the distance this car covers on 1 tank. The Volkswagen Passat variant, the Skoda Octavia estate, the Volvo V60. Every wagon that European families have trusted for generations. All of them need at least 2 fuel stops to cover the distance this car covers on 1. China didn't iterate on the hybrid wagon. China didn't improve it by 10 or 15%. China rewrote the category entirely. And the car that did it is the BYD Seal 06 DMI Touring. And this is its story. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because what we're covering today is just the beginning of what China is building, and you are going to want to see every single one of them. So the obvious question is, how? How does a family wagon with a 1.5-liter engine cover 2,000 kilometers on a single tank? Because on the surface, that doesn't add up. A 1.5-liter engine is not a big engine. It's the kind of displacement you'd find in a city car, not something you'd associate with transcontinental range. The answer is BYD's 5th-generation DM plug-in hybrid system. And once you understand how it works, you will never look at a conventional hybrid the same way again. Here's how a conventional hybrid works. In your Toyota, your Honda, your Hyundai, the petrol engine and the electric motor share the work of moving the car. Sometimes the engine leads, sometimes the motor, sometimes both run together. The system is always splitting the load, always compromising. The result is better efficiency than pure combustion, but still fundamentally limited by the fact that the petrol engine is doing a large portion of the driving work. BYD's approach is completely different. In the Seal 06 DMI Touring, the 1.5-liter 4-cylinder Atkinson cycle engine never drives the wheels. Not in the city, not on the motorway, not ever. Its sole job is to act as a generator, converting petrol into electricity, feeding the blade battery, while the electric motor handles all the actual driving. Because the engine only needs to run at its single most efficient operating point, generating electricity, nothing more. The fuel consumption figure drops to between 2.9 and 3.1 liters per 100 kilometers. In a full-size family wagon, that is a number that would have been considered impossible in this segment 5 years ago. The combined system output is 218 horsepower. The electric motor delivers torque instantly. No lag, no hesitation. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 9 seconds. Not slow, not a compromise. A genuinely capable family machine that happens to be running on the most efficient powertrain architecture in its class. And then there is the battery. BYD's blade battery, lithium iron phosphate chemistry. The same technology that famously passed the nail penetration test without catching fire. In the top specification, the battery alone provides up to 300 kilometers of pure electric range. 300 kilometers of daily driving, school run, commutes, weekend errands, completely free of fuel consumption. And when you need more, the range extender is there. 65 liters of fuel and 2,000 kilometers waiting for you. Now let's talk about what you're actually looking at. Because this is not what most people picture when they hear the words Chinese family car. The Seal LU6 DMI Touring was designed under the direction of Wolfgang Egger, the man who spent years as chief designer at Audi before joining BYD. His influence is visible in every single line of this car. The proportions are European. The surface treatment is sophisticated. The details are considered. This is not a car that looks impressive in a press photo and disappoints in person. This is a car that rewards the closer you look. 4,850 millimeters long, 1,890 millimeters wide, 1,505 millimeters tall. That low roofline is not purely a styling choice. It is a direct aerodynamic contributor to the efficiency that makes 2,000 kilometers possible. Every millimeter was a deliberate decision. At the front, slim dual-L LED headlights stretch across the face of the car, giving it an immediately recognizable signature day or night. A clean lower fascia, a whale tail-inspired grille element, chrome detailing that catches light without excess. At the side, that long, sweeping roofline dropping gradually then rising over the tail. Flush door handles, flared wheel arches, a wagon silhouette, worn with complete confidence. At the rear, a full-width light bar, a power tailgate. And when those rear seats fold flat, 1,535 liters of cargo space. That beats the Volkswagen Passat variant. That beats the Skoda Octavia Estate. The boot floor sits low enough to load heavy items without lifting above waist height. And the roof rack, not an option, not an extra. Standard across the entire lineup. Inside, the approach is clean and purposeful. Flat bottom steering wheel, column-mounted gear selector, freeing the entire center console. Central touchscreen up to 15.6 inches running BYD's Dialink system with over-the-air updates. Rear seat space is genuinely generous. 3 adults side by side without complaints. Headroom to spare. And here is something you will not find in a Toyota or a BMW at this level. 6 kilowatts of vehicle-to-load power output, standard across every trim. Plug in a kettle, power a campsite, run a refrigerator off the car. The Seal 06 Touring is not just a family wagon. It is a mobile power station that seats 5 people and covers 2,000 kilometers on one tank. Here is where the story gets even more interesting. Because everything we have covered so far would mean very little if this car existed only in China. But it doesn't. The BYD Seal 06 DMI Touring launched in the United Kingdom in late 2025. BYD's first wagon to reach British showrooms. 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. Level 2 autonomous driving as standard. 360-degree cameras as standard. Adaptive cruise control. Lane keeping. Automatic emergency braking, all of it standard equipment across continental Europe, Germany, France, Switzerland, the Netherlands. This wagon is in showrooms, being tested by customers and reviewed by the major automotive publications. The early verdict is consistent across markets. The range holds up in real-world driving. The interior quality surprises people who arrive with low expectations, and the driving experience is significantly better than most European reviewers anticipated from a Chinese wagon. In Brazil, the Seal Aero 6 Touring has been officially registered, a formal homologation step that signals a commercial decision has already been made. Manufacturers do not register vehicles in new territories out of curiosity. When the paperwork is filed, the cars follow. In Australia, where a family road trip routinely covers distances that make a European motorway run look like a short commute. A wagon that covers 2,000 kilometers on a single tank is not a marketing talking point. It is a genuine, practical answer to how people actually live. No existing hybrid wagon in the Australian market comes close to that number. And in Canada, where winter range anxiety is a real and documented concern, where driving distances between major cities regularly exceed what most vehicles cover on one tank, the DM system answers both problems simultaneously. The range extender eliminates charging dependency. The 5th generation thermal management handles cold weather. It is exactly the car that market needs. BYD is not testing these markets. They are moving into them systematically. One registration, one auto show appearance, one dealership at a time. The Seal 06 Touring is a global car. It is just arriving in some places faster than others. Let's put this together one final time. The BYD Seal 06 DMI Touring, 5 seats, 1,535 liters of boot space, designed by the former chief designer of Audi, powered by a 5th generation plug-in hybrid system that consumes under 3 liters per 100 kilometers, 5-star Euro NCAP, Level 2 autonomous driving standard, 6 kilowatts of external power output standard, roof rack standard, on sale in the UK and across Europe right now, 2,000 kilometers. 1 tank, 1 charge. Toyota's best family hybrid needs more than 2 fuel stops to cover that distance. BMW's 5 Series Touring cannot match this car on range efficiency. Volkswagen, the company that built the modern European estate car, has no answer for this number. Not today. Not with anything currently in their lineup. The station wagon was supposed to be dead. The industry declared it finished years ago. SUVs replaced it, crossovers buried it, and then China came along and built one that covers 2,000 kilometers, carries more cargo than most SUVs, undercuts every European rival on price, and made the entire category relevant again. The wagon is not dead. China just brought it back and built it better than it has ever been. So here is my question for you. If the BYD Seal 06 Touring were available in your market tomorrow, at a price competitive with a Volkswagen Passat or a Toyota Camry wagon, would you still choose the SUV? Or does 2,000 kilometers on one tank change the conversation entirely? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I am pinning the best response right at the top. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. What is coming next will surprise you.